Hello and welcome to this video update. We just left the Joint Legislative Budget Committee room and I wanted to give you some of the figures of what we're looking at in the FY12. Of course, we had about $700 million that we were down. That was stimulus dollars that had been removed from the budget. Now, fortunately, we're going to be able to replace that without raising anybody's taxes. Now, we are going to use about $88 million out of the rainy day fund. The governor's agreed to that. We're going to use about half of the health care trust fund. Some of the remaining expenditure funds that the governor has at his discretion that go back to Katrina. So we're going to use some of those revenues. We're going to make some cuts, not across the board, but specific cuts in agencies, anywhere between 1% and 7% in most agencies, about 3%. For example, at IHL, we're going to level fund K through 12. That means schools are going to get the same amount of money that they did last year. So they should be able to adjust their budget with level funding. We're going to put some emphasis in some areas. For example, the Department of Public Safety. We're 75 men short at the Department of Public Safety. That means someone's going to die on our highways if we don't have that adequate protection out there. So we hope to have a new school. Mental health is going to need our help. We think we can fund them at a level to keep the services that they're providing now. Of course, we've got debt services. That's the amount of money that we borrow. We've got to make sure that we pay that interest. Some other areas that we're specifically going to look at, community colleges, for example, their tuition is so affordable that you see people now rushing into community colleges and their number of students is growing out of control. We cut about $64 million out of travel and salaries and commodities and some other areas. With that $64 million out of nearly a $5.5 billion budget, state support included. So we were able to do that and maintain the level that we currently have of the number of employees and make sure that the reductions that we've seen over the last couple of years stay in place. We don't want to creep back up to the number of employees that we had and the extensive growth that we saw back in the 1990s through 2008. So that's a quick update of where we're at. It's a balanced budget. It maintains the cuts. It maintains the reductions that we've had in government that I think right-size many state agencies and will help us keep a balanced budget into the future and some remaining funds in our rainy day fund for next year. 13 is going to be a challenge. 14 will be even more so. We need to get ready for a long-term strategy, and that would be a performance-based budgeting. The Smart Budget Act that we passed here, 51-1 in the Senate, I hope the House will take it up. It's based on outcomes and performances, not political influences. So, that's an update of where we're at. I hope you've learned something on this. I know I have, and we'll see you next time in these video updates.